Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for showing up today. Today we're going to start on our backs. So if you come to your back in a comfortable position, just slowly lower down and start to settle in. You could have your knees up or your legs straight. Find a position that works for you where you can start to tune in to your body. So begin by feeling your back sinking into the earth. And notice the other parts of your body that are touching the ground. And just bring awareness to those areas. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere. See if you can let that go. It might feel good to gently close your eyes. And now bring awareness to your breath. Your inhales and your exhales. And as you're noticing your breath, you might find that your mind immediately begins to start wandering. And when that happens, just bring your attention back to your breath. Noticing the sensations of your inhales and your exhales. And you might have to come back again and again and again. And that's what yoga is about. It's the coming back, the practice, the remembering. Coming back to finding what is truly inside of you. Coming back to quiet the chatter in your mind so that you can remember. Remember that you are divine. And then when you remember and come back to that, you can remember that all of us are divine. So in practice today, and as you go throughout your day, throughout your life, know that you can always come back to your breath and find that remembering, quieting, and remembering. Take a few more breaths here and practice noticing your breath, then noticing your thoughts and coming back. Now take a deep inhale, full all the way through your lungs, filling up, and let the air go through your mouth and sigh it out. So let's do that one more time as we're getting ready to prepare for our practice. Full deep breath in through your belly, your ribs, and your chest. Pause for a second and then just let it go. Slowly roll onto your side and then press yourself up, and we'll be starting in an all fours position. Actually, nope, I think we'll start in a seated position. So you could come to a position, you could have your legs in front of you or your legs crossed. Start by settling in, feeling your sitting bones, both pressed evenly. into the earth. And bring awareness to your neck and shoulders. And we're going to start by resetting our shoulders. First, by drawing your shoulders up towards your ears. Then draw your shoulder blades back and down. So sitting up tall, feeling an expansion in your chest area. And we'll take one of those deep, full breaths here. So full breath in from belly, ribs, and chest. And let it go. So begin, as you're sitting up tall, to draw your left ear towards your left shoulder. And we'll take a couple breaths here, just breathing in and out, feeling openness on the right side of your neck. Now, gradually, just a tiny bit, look up. Not straining, but just feeling a little bit of a difference in the side of your neck. And then we'll come back so that your ear is close to your shoulder. And now we're just going to look down slightly, just maybe like an inch. So just feeling a different sensation in the right side of your neck. And we'll come back, ear towards shoulder. Now, as you are ready to inhale, take a breath in and exhale, allowing your head to come up. So now we'll go to the other side. So bring your right ear towards your right shoulder, feeling the stretch on the left side of your neck. And coming back to your breath. Now gradually look up just a tiny bit for one breath. Come back to your starting place with your shoulder close, or your ear close to your shoulder. Now take a tiny look down. So just feeling that just slight change in the left side of your neck. So now bring shoulder to ear, and then as you're ready to inhale, let your head just rise up. Now take your left hand, first bring it in front of you, and then move your hand across your body, and then hold on to your arm, your left arm with your right hand. So feeling an openness along your shoulder of your left arm. So still sitting up tall, drawing your shoulder blades down, and now look up to the sky to the left. So feeling an openness in your throat. Bring your head back to center, and then bring your left arm down. So now bring your right arm up and move your right arm across your body, and then hold on to your right arm with your left hand, resetting so you're sitting up tall, and then look up slightly to the right. Notice if you're holding your breath. Come back to your breath and breathe. And then you can bring your head back and place your arm down. So now take a full deep breath in, bringing your arms up overhead. As you inhale, as you exhale, draw your hands to your heart and to your sides. Let's do that one more time. So full deep breath in. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and to your sides. Now take your hands and clasp them behind you. If it's okay, if it doesn't feel okay, just bring your arms a little bit behind you. So sitting up tall. So if you're clasping your hands, draw your knuckles towards the earth. Feel the expansion across your chest. Now we're going to do that neck stretch again. So looking up first to the left. Coming back so your head is neutral, and then looking up. to the right. And come back to neutral. Release your hands. Take a full deep breath in, hands overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So come onto all fours in a tabletop position. Notice your hands underneath your shoulders. Your fingers will be spread apart, but not overstretching. Your knees will be under your hips. And let's just start to move around. Maybe start from side to side. It might feel good to move forward and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Maybe sinking into just a little bit of a child's pose. Coming back to center. And start to move with your breath. So maybe breathing in as you move to the side. Exhaling as you move to the other side. Maybe breathing in as you move forward. Breathing out as you sink into child's pose. Breathe in as you come back up to all fours. And we'll start doing some cat-cows. So as you take your breath in, bring your chin and tailbone up. And as you exhale, draw your chin towards your chest, tuck in your tailbone. As you're coming up, take care not to overstretch the back of your neck. So think about it as almost as you're jutting your chin out, opening up your throat area, and then exhaling back, and then moving with your own breath. So finding movements that feel good. You could continue to do cat-cow or find other movements, maybe coming into cow and cat, and maybe sinking into child's pose. Breathing in as you come up all the way to cow. Exhaling through cat all the way to child's pose. This time resting your forehead on the mat. Take a breath here, in and out. Come back up to all fours. Now curl your toes. Lift your knees off the ground. And then slowly bring your hips up to the sky, but keeping your knees very bent. Noticing your hands on the ground, pressing in with the pads of your fingertips. And then start to pedal your feet. Letting your neck relax. Notice if you're holding tension in your neck. And once you've found a position that feels good, you can pedal your feet with breath. So breathing in and out. Not rushing, in and out. Bringing awareness to breath with movement. In and out. Find some stillness. Bring your heels towards the ground, your hips up towards the ceiling. Now look towards your hands and take steps up to the front of your mat. Come to halfway lift, so you could have your hands on your thighs or shin, but have a really long, straight back, crown of your head facing forward. And we're going to hinge and fold. Bend your knees a lot, so you'll feel your thighs resting on your chest area, your chest and belly. Once again, let your neck completely relax. You might need to adjust your feet a little bit. It might feel good to sway from side to side. We'll just stay here for 2 more breaths. We're going to slowly rise up, but keep your chin tucked towards your chest. You might let your hands slide up your body. So as you're standing up tall, your neck will be the last thing to release. Bring your arms up, out to the sides, overhead, and then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So take a full deep breath in. Exhale as you hinge and fold. Tent your fingers. Step your right foot back. into a low lunge. Now plant your hands, step your left foot back into downward dog. Breathe in as you come into all fours. Exhale, sink into child's pose. Take a breath in as you come to all fours. Curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Breathe in as you walk your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press into the earth as you rise up, arms overhead, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take another full, deep breath in. Let it all go as you hinge and fold. Tense your fingers, step your left foot back into low lunge. Plant your hands, step your right foot back into downward dog. Take a breath in as you come to all fours. Breathe out as you sink into child's pose. Inhale as you come into tabletop. Curl your toes and exhale as you settle in to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands, come to halfway lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Take a full deep breath in as you rise up, reaching, extending. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full deep breath in and let it go as you hinge and fold. Tense your fingers, step your right foot back into low lunge. Look up just slightly, jutting your chin out. Plant your hands, step your left foot back into downward dog. As you take a breath in, come into plank pose or plank on knees. If you're in the full expression of plank, feel your heels pressing to the back of the room, drawing your navel in towards your spine, feeling the strength in your body. Now lower your knees, plant the tops of your feet in the mat, and squeeze your sides as you lower all the way to your belly, resting your forehead on your mat. Take a breath in, lift your chin and chest up, drawing shoulder blades back. Exhale down. Take a breath in, not craning your neck too far, but jutting your chin out, feeling an openness in your throat. And exhaling down. And let's do that one more time. So as you breathe in, draw shoulder blades back, press the tops of your feet into earth, jut your chin out, taking care not to overextend your neck, and lowering down. Now press into all fours, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. As you breathe in, lift your right leg up to the sky and just take some big circles with your straight leg. So moving in circles at your hip joint. Might feel some creaks and cracks. And then moving to the other side, or the other direction. So put your right foot down, look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and fold, and then press your feet into the ground to boost yourself up, rising, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Press into the earth again to rise up, and then exhale, hinge and fold. Tense your fingers, step your left foot back into low lunge. Jut your chin out, feeling that openness in your throat. Now plant your hand, step your right foot back into downward dog. Breathe in as you come into plank or plank on knees. Squeeze your sides with your arms as you lower all the way to the earth, resting your forehead on your mat. Press the tops of your feet into the earth. Draw your shoulder blades back as you lift up through your chest into a baby cobra. We'll stay here for 2 breaths and then lower down. Now press your hands into the earth to come up to tabletop, and then curl your toes to bring your hips high and back to downward dog. As you take your breath in, lift your left leg up to the sky, and then you could move your leg in circles, straight leg, just feeling the openness in your hip joints as you make these circles, and then switch directions. Now place your left foot back on the mat, look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So we'll come, standing at the top of your mat, we'll come to mountain pose or Tadasana. I'm just going to turn so that you can see me. So take a look down at your feet and notice if they're parallel, about hip distance apart. Draw a breath in as you bring your shoulders up towards your ears, resetting, bring your shoulder blades down and back. Your palms might be at your sides, maybe facing a little bit forward. Draw attention to your knees and notice if they're locked, and if so, just bring a little tiny bend so you'll feel the muscles kind of hugging into your bones. So taking some of that stress off your joints and bringing it to your muscles. So from at the top of your mat, take a full deep breath in, hinge and fold, tense your fingers, step your left foot back, but ground your left foot into the earth. Now press into both feet and cartwheel your arm up and over and come in to Warrior Two. So we'll take a moment to settle into Warrior Two. So having a bend to your front knee, taking care not to overextend. So if you're overextending, just bring your knee back just a tiny bit. Bring your arms out to the side, really pressing into the earth with the knife edge of your back foot to feel that strength in your back leg. Now gaze out over your fingertips as you settle in. On your breath in, flip your left palm reaching overhead. I guess it's your right palm. Apologies. And then come back to Warrior Two. Now straighten your front leg and then reach with your front hand all the way to the front. And then when you can't reach anymore, place your hand on your thigh or your shin. Your opposite arm, your left arm, will be behind on your hip to start. Gaze up at the sky, drawing your shoulder back. Now reach your left hand up to the sky. And we'll just take a breath here. Bring your left hand down, bend your right knee, and press back up into Warrior Two, reaching all the way to reverse. As you exhale, cartwheel your hands down, framing your right foot. Step your left foot up to meet your right into halfway lift. Hinge and fold, and then press into the ground to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So take a full deep breath in, reaching, extending. Hinge and fold. This time we're going to step our, right foot back. Confusing left and right again. So press into the ground with both feet Now press up into warrior two on your other side. And I wanted to do this so I was facing you, so I kind of goofed that up, but we'll get it one of these days. So once again, settling in, finding the alignment in your front and back legs, not overextending your knee. Now flip your palm and reach overhead to reverse. Straighten your left leg and then move forward, reaching, stretching. When you can't reach any further, place your left hand on your left shin or thigh. Place your right hand on your right hip. And notice your alignment here. You might have to move your hips a little bit towards the left. Draw your right shoulder blade back. So feeling an openness in your heart. And you can stay here. If it feels okay, you can bring your right hand up to the sky. So breathing as you hold your pose. Notice if you're holding tension in any parts of your body. See if you can find softness. Now bend your left knee. Press up back into all warrior two. Now flip your left palm, reaching, extending for reverse. Just for a moment, and then exhaling, coming back to warrior two. Cartwheeling your hands down, step your left foot back into plank, lower all the way to your belly, press your feet into the earth, come back into cobra, I guess not come back into cobra, come into cobra, lower down, resting forehead on the mat. Now press up into all fours, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Okay, let's try that again, a little bit different. Take a full deep breath in. Hinge and fold, tense your fingers, step your left foot back. Planting your left foot into the earth. Press up, bring your hands on your hips and open up to warrior two. Flip your right palm and reach overhead for reverse. This time as you exhale, bring your right hand to your right knee, bring your left hand to left hip. Open up, bring your left hand up to the sky for side angle. You could keep your left hand up high, or maybe bring it towards the top of your mat, overhead. Press into your right foot as you rise up back to warrior two, all the way to reverse warrior. Settle into warrior two. Now frame your right foot. So you're into a low lunge. Bring your back heel off the ground, so you're in low lunge. Now walk your hands to the front of your mat, so you're in a wide-legged position. Your feet will be kind of a little bit pigeon-toed, so bringing the toes in a little bit. So we're just going to forward fold here to a position that's comfortable. So letting your neck relax. So you could stay here in the forward fold. It might feel good to walk your hands from side to side. Just kind of feeling out what you need in this moment, what your body needs. Okay, now walk your hands all the way to the left, so you'll be in a low lunge, facing the opposite direction. So this time now, plant your left foot on the ground. Your right foot. And then cartwheel up all the way to warrior two on the opposite side. Settle in. Notice any tension you have in your shoulders, drawing your hands, reaching out in both directions. So feeling a full openness across the front of your body. Flip your left palm overhead, reaching, extending, and then come back to Warrior Two, gazing out over your left fingertips. Now reach down so your left elbow comes to left knee, right hand to right hip. Draw your right shoulder blade back to really feel that openness across your chest. And this might be a good place to stay. You could bring your arm up, but if you feel yourself coming forward again, keep that openness in your chest and your hand on your hips. If you do find that opening, you can bring your right hand up to the sky or maybe even overhead. Press into your left foot as you rise up back to Warrior Two. Flip your left palm, reaching, extending to reverse. Come back to Warrior Two. Cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Step your left foot back into plank or plank on knees. And then squeeze your sides as you lower all the way to your belly. As you take a breath in, press the tops of your feet into the earth and rise up to Cobra. In Cobra, you're pressing in your hands, but still really drawing your shoulder blades back. If it feels okay, not looking up too far, but jutting your chin forward, feeling that openness in your throat. Now lower down all the way to your belly, resting forehead on the mat. As you breathe in, press into all fours. Curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and fold and press into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So from here, come into your mountain pose again. So your feet planted in the earth, slight bend to your knees, resetting your shoulders, opening up your chest. We'll take a breath here. So just bringing awareness to what you're feeling now, noticing your body, coming back to your breath. So from here, we're going to transfer weight onto our right foot. So still standing up tall, lift your knee up so you'll be standing on one foot. If you're next to a wall, you can always use that to gain support. Now step your left foot back and we'll come into Warrior One feet. So you'll have a bent front right leg. Your back leg will be straight, your left foot planted into the earth. So now open up your palms. So this has the effect of bringing your shoulders down and back. And when you're ready, you can reach up to the sky, but still keeping your shoulders in their sockets. So take a breath here, settling in. Reaching up with your fingers, but drawing your shoulders in. Now lift off your heel of your back left foot. And we're going to press up from that back foot into first a standing position and then draw your arms back. We'll come into airplane pose. So finding your balance. Sometimes it helps to get stability if you flex your back foot, but feeling that openness across your chest. And once again, just jutting your chin out just a tiny bit, feeling that openness in the area of your throat. We'll stay here for one more breath, and then we'll come back, place your left foot on the earth. We'll take a freedom breath, take a full deep breath in, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart as you exhale down. So now this time, transfer left, first stand in Tadasana. Get your posture. Feel the steadiness of the earth beneath you. Transfer weight to your left foot. Lift your right knee off the ground this time. We'll just stand here tall for just a moment, and then step your right foot back into warrior one feet. So bent left knee in the front, placing your foot firmly into the earth, maybe a slight angle on your back foot, feeling the strength in the back of your leg as you press into that knife edge of your back foot on the pinky toe side. So from here you can start with your hands on your hips. Now bring your hands to your sides, palms out, feeling that openness in your chest. Now just slowly as you breathe in, bring your arms up to the sky. And we'll take a couple breaths here. You might need to adjust your feet. Once you find a position that feels good, just settle in. And we'll take a breath here. Now pivot your back foot so that you're standing on your tippy toes, and then press into the earth as you come up. So you'll be standing on your left leg. Bring your arms back out towards the back. Bring your right foot up into airplane pose. So your right leg will be parallel to the earth, but feeling a back bend, so opening up your chest area. And once you've found that position, you can try jutting out your chin again, feeling that openness. We'll take one more breath here. Now place your right foot on the earth. Place both feet grounded into the earth and take a full deep breath in. And this time as we're breathing in, stand up all the way on your tippy toes. And then bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So take a full deep breath in. Hinge and forward fold. Tense your fingers, and we're going to come first to all fours, tabletop, and then find your way all the way to your belly. So place your hands on the mat in front of you, palm side down, and just rest your forehead on your hands. And once again, coming back to your breath. Breathing in and out. Noticing what you notice. Letting go of tension and just coming back to your breath. As you breathe in, bring your arms alongside your body. Your forehead can be resting on the mat. And when you're ready to take a breath in, lift your chest off the ground, drawing your shoulder blades back. Your palms could be facing up to the sky or down. It doesn't matter. Press the tops of your feet into the earth. Jut your chin out just a tiny bit. And exhale down. This time when you're ready to take a breath in, place your arms, so press your arms into the mat. Lift your feet off the ground as you inhale. So the lower half of your body will be lifted, keeping your forehead on the mat. And then lower down. So this time we'll bring chest and feet up. So when you're ready to take a breath in, lift your chest first, then your legs, then your arms. Draw your shoulder blades back. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Jut your chin out just a tiny bit, but not overextending your neck. So being very careful for the cervical spine area of your neck. Taking one more breath here. And then as you lower down, bring your hands in front of you again and rest your forehead on the tops of your hand. So we'll take one breath here. Now bring your hands alongside your chest. Press up into all fours, and then bring your knees slightly wide and sink down into child's pose. So bring your hands out in front of you. Rest your forehead on the mat. And just settle in here. If child's pose in this position feels too much, you can always, especially if you have trouble with your knees, bring your knees together and bring your hands alongside. So find a position that feels good. And we'll settle in for just a moment. Coming back to your breath once again. Now press yourself up. First to all fours and then come to a seated position. So start with your legs in front of you in a V. And we'll take a full deep breath in. And we're going to turn just a tiny bit to the left and then fold over your left leg. So you could have your hands on your thighs, on your shin, maybe to your feet. But as you're folding over, pay attention. So feeling the sensation and stretch in the back of your left leg. But then finding softness in your upper body. So bring awareness to your neck. Maybe you could give a yes, no shake. Find what's going on there. Feeling a softness in your shoulders. And letting go if there's any spot that you're holding a lot of tension. Now press up into a seated position. Bring your arms all the way up. Now this time turn just a tiny bit to the right and fold over your right leg. Finding that sensation in the back of your right leg and then bringing awareness to what's going on in your upper body. Letting go of holding and tension. And not necessarily being completely still, moving around and adjusting and finding what you need. What do you need out of this stretch right now? Take one more breath here. Now press up into seated. Draw your feet together. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So we'll just do one little exercise here. So just sitting up tall with your shoulder blades down and back, point your toes and flex your toes with your breath. So exhaling as you point, inhaling as you flex. Let's do that one more time. Breathing out, pointing, inhale, flexing. So now we're going to do a forward fold. So first start by bringing your hands up. And we're going to forward fold and have your toes pointed, flexed first. So maybe you can just go a tiny bit. So now as you lower down, you can point your toes and you'll find that you'll probably be able to fold a little bit further. So go to a point where you feel sensation but not overstretching. So your hands could be on your thighs or your shins. So finding a spot that feels like you could go a little bit lower, but you don't. I didn't explain that very well. So go to a point where you feel like you're as far as you can go, sit up a little bit, and now flex your feet. So feeling that sensation just from flexing your feet. So take a breath in and out. Once again, noticing where you might be holding tension. I tend to Feel the tension in my neck and my shoulders. Just going to move around and let go of some of that. And then settling in. And take one more breath here. We'll press up to seated. And then we'll come to a position where we're on our backs. So, so just find a way to the ground. I was going to do something else, but forget about it. Okay, all the way to the ground. So keep your knees bent, your feet planted in the earth. Your feet will be about hip distance apart. And see if you can just graze the tips of your heels with your fingers. So you might have to move your feet forward or backward. So finding that position. So just settle in here, finding your breath, feeling your back pressing into the earth. Now press your hands into the earth, press your feet into the earth, and let your hips rise up into bridge pose. So draw your legs in slightly together. Notice if you're really clenching your glute muscles, and just let those muscles go for now. So you might feel more of a sensation that the muscles in the back of your legs are working a little bit more. And then lower down. So we'll rise up again. So you can do bridge exactly as we did it before, or you can press your feet into the earth when you rise up. You can scooch your shoulder blades in towards one another and clasp your hands underneath you. So keeping your arms and hands on the ground, pressing up with your hips and feeling an openness in your chest. Notice again what your glutes are doing, and if they're really tight, just let them go. So take one more breath here. And then if you do have your hands clasped underneath you, just let your hands go and lower down. So now press your hands into the earth. Just bring your feet up to the sky. You could shimmy your hands underneath your sacrum or your low back. Find a position that feels good. And we're just going to do flexing and pointing of feet again. So breathing in as you flex, exhaling as you point. Breathing in as you flex, exhale, point. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in and out. If your hands are underneath your back, you can let your legs down, bring your hands free. So bring your knees to your chest, and we're just going to do a couple of breaths here. So drawing knees to chest as you exhale, and then breathing in as you straighten your arms. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathe out, knees to chest. In, bring your knees away, straightening your arms. 1 more time. Breathing in and out. Now bring your hands out like airplane arms out to your sides. And we're just going to move from left to right with breath. So as you come into center, exhaling as you go down to the left, breathing in towards center, and then moving with your own breath. And just going to a point that feels good for your lower back. You might find that it's only a couple of inches to one side. If it feels good and okay for your body, you could bring your knees all the way to the right, maybe placing your right hand on top of your left knee. And your gaze could be up at the ceiling. Maybe you bring your gaze to the opposite side. So if you're on your knees are to the right, you could bring your gaze to the left. When you're ready to take a breath in, bring your knees up again, and then exhale all the way to the other side. So this time maybe bringing your left hand on top of your right thigh, knee. Maybe bringing your gaze to the right. So feeling the slowing down, coming back to your breath. When you're ready to inhale, bring your knees up. And then we'll bring your hands to your knees and just squeeze in like a tiny ball, maybe even bringing your forehead to your knees. And then expand and grow into a full body stretch. Reaching, extending, maybe doing some ankle and wrist rolls. And then coming into your resting pose of Shavasana. So that could be a traditional Shavasana with your palms up, your legs spread. Maybe it might feel good to have something under your knees, but find a position that feels good and settle in. So once again, coming back, feeling yourself letting go and relaxing. Bringing awareness back to your breath. Feeling the inhales and your exhales. Breathing in and out. Feeling all of the muscles of your arms and legs completely relax. Feeling your back sinking into the earth. Releasing tension in your neck. Notice if you're holding your jaw or your tongue, and just let go. Sinking in and letting go. Allow the area of your throat to soften and expand. And breathe. Imagine that you're drinking in bright blue sky. As you're breathing in this clear, clean air, feel a clearing, an opening, and a softening. Start to become aware of your self-expression. Let your throat drink in what it needs. Say the words in your head. I hear and speak my truth. I express myself. You have a voice. You speak your truth. You're understood and you listen. You understand. Rest here in the awareness that we are all divine. Start to bring awareness to your breath. Once again, noticing your inhales and your exhales. As you breathe in, you bring in more oxygen and energy and life. Feel the energy coursing through your body, moving your fingers and your toes. As you continue to breathe, more energy and vitality enters your body. So moving your arms and legs. When you're ready to take a breath in, roll on to one of your sides. You could use, if you roll onto your right side, you could use your right arm as a little pillow, maybe drawing your knees up towards your chest. And take a moment here in gratitude. Thank yourself for showing up to practice. Thank yourself for taking time for self-care. And taking the time to remember that you are divine. Now slowly press yourself up into a seated position. And when you arrive, you can bring your hands up to your heart. We'll take one last breath as a class together. So take a deep, full breath in and let it go. Thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste.